PSP 1000 series take-apart guide. On the top, you'll locate the USB port, then the slider button to open the UMD drive. On the lower left side, there's a slot for a memory stick. And on the right side, you'll find the slider button to turn on and off the PSP. And then on the back side, you will find the battery door cover. The lower right hand side is the charging port. And on the other side is the headphone jack. To begin opening, you will first need to remove the battery door cover. And then remove the battery. There are 5 visible screws that will have to be removed, as well as 2 screws that are located beneath the warranty sticker. First, if you're going to open your PSP, you will have to remove the warranty sticker. Only proceed with this if your warranty is already expired or you do not mind voiding your warranty. To lift up the sticker, use a flat tool and then remove it. Removing this sticker exposes 2 more screws that will have to be removed. Use a 00 Phillips screwdriver to remove these screws. The first one is located on the very bottom. Then 2 more screws are located on the opposite side of the battery. And then there are 4 more Phillips screws located inside the battery bay. Once all of the screws have been removed, flip the PSP over, and then you can remove the front faceplate. Now that the front faceplate has been removed, the top right and left clear trigger buttons can be taken out. And now to remove the home, volume, select, and start circuit ribbon. Use a thin flat tool to lift up on the left side of the board. Once that assembly is lifted, then use a flat tool to lift up on the lock mechanism. And then the ribbon cable will come out of place. Next, remove the LCD. Use a thin flat tool to get in between the LCD and the metal bracket. It's easiest to start from the bottom. In doing this, be extremely careful to not damage the LCD. Once the bottom is released, then release the top. Once the LCD is loose from its frame, you can then flip the LCD down to reveal the cable connections. Now use a thin flat tool to carefully lift up on the locking mechanism for the small cable. And then use a flat tool or your fingernail to lift up on the larger mechanism to release its cable. Now there are 5 Phillips screws that have to be removed so that you can take out the LCD cage. Once the 5 screws have been removed, you can then take out the LCD cage. Now remove the single Phillips screw that holds down the L button and D-pad cable. Once the screw has been removed, then flip over the D-pad cable and you will see the cable connection where it connects to the motherboard. Use your small flat tool to flip up the lock and then remove the cable. And you'll need a small flat tool to take out the A, B, X, and Y and power switch circuit board. On the lower left side of the circuit board you will see a small black clip that will have to be released. Once the clip is released, the circuit board becomes loose. Now use your small flat tool to lift up on the lock and release the cable. Before you can take out the circuit board, you will have to take out the R button mechanism first. Once the R button mechanism is released, then simply lift up on the cable to remove it. Now to take out the power input board. First use your small flat tool to remove any tape that is holding down the cable. Then remove the single Phillips screw that is holding down the board. Then to remove the cable from the motherboard, use your small flat tool to help release it. Now to remove the Wi-Fi antenna. Gently remove any tape that is holding down the cable. And then gently lift up on the antenna to remove it. The antenna cannot be fully removed, so just leave it to the side. Now to remove the speaker cables. First, remove any tape that is covering the cables. Then remove the cable that is plugged into the motherboard, using a flat tool if you need help. Then remove any tape that is holding on the speaker cable for the other side as well. Then release the cable from the motherboard the same way, using a flat tool if you need help. Now use your fingernail and a small flat tool to slide the lock out for the UMD drive cable. Now remove the single Phillips screw in the top right hand side of the motherboard. Once that is removed, gently lift up on the motherboard to remove it. Now use a small flat tool to remove the speakers. And do the same for the other speaker. Gently lift up on it so you don't damage it. Now remove these two Phillips screws which holds down the stabilizer from the memory card. Once the two screws have been removed, then remove the stabilizer. Now remove the single Phillips screw to take out the metal shield. Next, use a flat tool to remove the memory card slot, network card, and headphone jack board. And if you flip the board over, you can see where the Wi-Fi antenna is plugged in. Gently lift up on the connection to remove it. Use a flat tool if you have to remove the connection. Now remove the memory stick access button. Use your flat tool to press down on the clips on the inside where the button is. Pressing these clips down will allow the button to be removed. Once the button is removed, you can then remove the gray trim that it was attached to. Do this by simply lifting up on it and removing it from the case. Now the trim that has the USB port hole can be removed. Do the same with it, lifting it from the case. Use a flat tool if you need help separating it. Now remove the last piece of trim from the other side. Now to remove the UMD disc cover. Take a flat tool and separate the metal door from the cover. You can do this by prying at the top corners. Once the door cover is loosened from the metal door, locate the hinge area from the front side. On the bottom left-hand side of the hinge, you will need to pry inwards on the plastic piece that moves with the door. Once this hook is unlatched, it will release the door cover. Now that the cover is removed, you will find 4 very small Phillips screws that need to be removed. Once all 4 mounting screws have been removed, the UMD drive is loose. Now where the memory stick was located, you will find a very small Phillips screw. Once the screw is removed, you can then take out the memory door.